Hello, feminine. Divine feminine. I realized something. I feel like I've known it all along, but I feel like I also just realized it. And I find it equal parts exciting and scary. I realized that I have options, and yet I don't want any of them except you. I realized most especially in the moments when you pulled away, and not pulled away like you used to or like others do. Not like you didn't pull away because you were mad at me. You didn't say I'm done with you. You weren't mean. It's like you just refocused your energy onto other things that you love, and I didn't feel any less loved. I guess I just didn't feel the focus on me. And then I did feel the focus from the karmics around me. And I felt empty. And I realized, I can do all of this on my own. I've still got a lot of learning to do about growing up and what it means to be big, to be an adult. But I can figure it out. I'm pretty used to being lonely. I think I realized that I'm so used to being lonely even in a crowded room that it was so foreign to me to feel not alone, even just in thinking about you. And I realized in the spaces where you weren't, when you weren't texting or calling or messaging, when you weren't visiting, when I didn't have your jokes, or even you being angry at me, when I didn't have those things in there, and it's most especially when I had other people filling those roles, fighting with me, prodding me, even cheering me on, that none of them did it like you. Even if they said the same words, even in the moments, I realized that many of my karmics were trying to copy you. And even when they managed to pull it off, all they did was remind me of you and how they were not you. And in those spaces where you weren't, I found you. I realized you were still there, and that I can go it alone. I can go it with others. But I don't want to go forward without you. I want you. I want you to be in my life. I want you to be my best friend. I want you to be my partner in crime. I want you to be the one to tell me when I'm out of line. I want you to be the one who reaches out when I'm sad. I want to be the one to reach out to you when you're sad. I want to be that old masculine arguing with you when we're in canes and wheelchairs, sitting in an old folks' home or wherever it is we might be, with our children coming and telling us how stubborn we are. Well, we can laugh, knowing that all of it is grand, all of it is divine. The struggle is divine, the love is divine, all of it. And that we choose each other. That we weren't forced to stay, we weren't forced to meet, we weren't forced to go. That we could both do anything we want, and yet we both want to do it with each other. I think I'm starting to understand what it is that you meant about you don't want someone who needs you. You want someone who loves you. I know it wasn't a complete sentence. I also know I wasn't very good at listening when you tried to explain it. Though I get it, because I've been the person who needed somebody. And now I've been the person who is with someone who needed me, or at least it seemed like that. And what I realized is how empty love is when it's based on need. especially because that need usually has nothing to do with love. It has to do with money and self-deception and material things and what other people think. And when you take away those things, the love disappears. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned in this strange separation, especially as in the places where you aren't, when I find you there, in my heart and in my mind, I realize that's love. I realize you've been showing it to me this whole time, that as I became the biggest jerk in the world, I took away money, I took away emotional support, I took away my physical self, I took away the communication, I gave myself away to other karmics, I even refused to laugh. I told you I didn't want you to come see me, that I wanted to move on. I took away everything. And yet, not only did you still love me, but it seemed like your love for me grew. And you never belittled me. You never told me I was being stupid. You never told me I was wrong or to change my mind. You just simply laughed and said that you were allowed to believe what you wanted to believe and feel how you wanted to feel, and that you didn't need my 3D self to confirm it for you. And you know what's funny? I never thought you were crazy for that. I feel like I should have. There were many things I thought you were crazy for, but not that. In fact, it more just scared me, because I felt like I'd made such a mess that I needed to push you away. I didn't want you to see who I'd become. I didn't want you to see how bad it was. And to be honest, the karmics that I've been around, they scare me. I don't fully understand why they don't scare you, but I was worried that if I showed you how it really was, if I asked for your help, if I let you in, that you would get hurt more than you already were. More than it would hurt you for me to push you away and pretend that I didn't care. And yet, it didn't seem to scare you at all. And it scared me that it didn't scare you, and I thought that I had to work harder to push you away. And then you showed me that you had healed enough to love me at a distance, to still be there, to still check on me sometimes and yet not force it, to laugh at my absurdities without being mean. You showed me what it means to heal, what it means to grow. And you showed me something incredible that I never thought anyone would ever show me. Because I can remember times before you, with karmics before you, that it's so weird, because I can remember wanting from them what I've been getting from you. To ask me to come home, to love me with my flaws, to understand that even when I'm throwing a tantrum, I'm just confused and scared, to be loyal, to remind me that I'm not a monster, to find a million things to do and none of which hurt me, and to not be afraid of me. Which I realized was something that, all those things were things you wanted from me before, and I didn't give them to you. To be honest, I didn't know how to give them, and I realized how funny it is that I didn't know where to begin on giving those things to you, and yet I expected them from you and all those before you. So now I see it, and I laugh at myself for all the things I thought that I needed to be. I tried to grow up far too fast. I had to be big for me, from all the things that I went through. And when it got to a point where I could play and I could have fun and I could love, I was still stuck in that survival mentality, and it felt like to free myself from all that pain would just lead right back to it. I wanted it. There's so many messages that I've written to you and never sent that where I wanted to tell you how much everything you've done has meant. And how much I want it, how much I want you, how much I hate how cowardly I've been. Though then I got afraid because then it would require revealing to you all the ways that I've been lying, all the ways I've been hiding. And you know what's funny though? While I'm disgusted with myself for those behaviors, I also feel like in a strange way, it's good that I didn't yet. Because I see how much you have grown in the space where I wasn't. And I think I've realized that, like me, you found me in those spaces where I wasn't. And you embraced it in a way I was too afraid to do. You showed me how to look within and find you. And in the process, I've been finding me. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm starting to experience what real freedom feels like. And I'm so grateful to you for being the guiding light, for dancing ahead of me and holding it up, saying, this way, masculine, this way, this way, this way. For being willing to play, for loving yourself and finding your own ways, all of which always left room for me to join you when I was ready. Thank you, feminine. I love you.